Alright lads, I am Homer, Greek poet. You may have heard of me. Anyway, today I shall be telling you about Greek mythology. Now, let's get started. In the beginning, there was only Gaia, who we now know today as Earth. Gaia felt a little bit lonely, so she created Uranus, who is the sky and not the planet. Now, Gaia and Uranus liked each other quite a bit, so they'd had some children, known as the Titans, the Cyclopes, and the Hingy Wongy Songies. That's not how you say it, but it's too complicated to pronounce. Look it up on YouTube. Now, ever since he was a teen Titan, Kronos resented his father, Uranus. Now, why was this the case? Well, Uranus was not a great dad. Yes, he did happen to throw the Cyclopes and the Hungerspongers into the pits of Tartarus. And also there was the fact that Uranus would not let poor Kronos play Fortnite on the weekends. Kronos responded reasonably by chopping his father's bits off. Not caring about saving the turtles, Kronos threw Uranus's bits into the ocean. Now, from the blood of them emerged the giants, and from the thing itself emerged Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty, who just did her own thing for a while until she becomes relevant later on in the story. Kronos now was king of everything, and yet he didn't bother to save the Cyclopes or the hypotenuses from Tartarus. Instead, he just enjoyed kingly luxuries, like marrying his sister Rhea. Now, Kronos knew the saying, like father, like son, so he knew that if he had a son, they would probably rise up against him. So, to prevent this, whenever Rhea had a child, Kronos would simply dunk them in a deep fat fryer, dip them in ketchup, and then eat them. By the time she had her sixth child, Zeus, Rhea was rather sick of Kronos eating her babies, so she did what any mother should do in that situation and threw Zeus down to the world,
Home run!
where he was raised by she-goats. And when Kronos came along, Rhea decided to feed him a rock. Now, with Kronos' IQ of around 46, he ate the rock thinking it was his child, and had a little bit of stomachache afterwards. Now, Zeus grew into a strong young man, and was ready to take on his father, so he went up to him and offered him a piece of bread. However, it was not gluten-free, and this caused Kronos to get rather sick and throw up his children. Now, with the aid of brothers and sisters, Zeus could take on Kronos in the Attack on Titans. The Titanomachy. So, what happened in the Titanomachy? Well, some Titans were killed, some escaped, and some suffered unendurable punishments. Kronos was included in this group. Now, without his father, Zeus was free to reign over all. So we've met Zeus. Now, let's meet his brothers and sisters. First is Hestia, who is goddess of the hearth, the home, and she's irrelevant. Never pops up again, so forget her. There is also Demeter, who's the goddess of the harvest, fertility, pretty much Mother Nature. And there's another story where she's a mother, which is her only time where she's relevant and will not be discussed today. So another person worth talking about is Hades. So there are another 3 places worth fighting over by the male gods. There was Mount Olympus, there was the oceans, and there was the underworld. So they settled it out in a COD game. Unfortunately, Hades lost, so after yelling naughty swear words, he got the underworld. He also is not actually as demonic as the media would have you believe. He's really just an emo. Also, Hades does pop up in Demeter's one story, but then again, I probably shouldn't spoil it. All I can say is easily his worst offense. There's also Poseidon, who's brother of Zeus, brother of Hades. He managed to beat Hades at COD and therefore claim the sea. There's also Hera, who's his sister and eventual wife of Zeus, which is rather weird. Hera can be cruel, she can be vain, mainly just because she doesn't want her husband, shall we say, Then there's also Aphrodite, who we saw getting born earlier, who essentially, whilst seeming all nice and everything, just plays with everyone's hearts and is ultimately a pain who eventually started the Trojan War. That's all for now. I've been Homer, and now bog off.